Hello everyone, I'm Vishesh Vabhav, and today we're going to do our first lab of GenAI. So the first one was don't started, don't skip this, but we already did that in our sessions. So right now we're going to start with the lab after that. So the 8 labs that needs to be completed in order to complete GenAI, we're going to do that. So I've already logged in the Gmail. I'm using my friend's email for this. So I've already logged that in. The next thing I'll do is I'll write skills boost and then I'll go to this link, and I'm already logged in here, but you'll see a sign in button here, and then you should log into your Gmail account. So that should be your step. Now when I'm here, I can see level 3 Gen AI prompt engineering, right? So you don't worry about all of this. This should differ for all of you, but the only thing that we are concerned about right now is level 3 Gen AI prompt engineering. We'll click continue for that. After clicking continue, we'll be here on a page something that says something like this. And as you see, only 1483 spots are remaining, so I request, if you haven't yet signed up, to sign up as soon as possible. So this is the lab that we're going to complete right now. I have already completed this because I was recording a session for somebody, so I did that. But what we are focused we will be doing every lab in subsequent videos, but right now what we're focused on is in this first lab. Detect labels, faces, and landmarks and images with Google Cloud Agent API. So let me just take 1 minute to talk about what it is. So we all use Google Lens, right? So Google Lens is actually an application integrated into our mobile phones, from which we can search about something and get a result of what it is, and how many similar photos do we have, something like that sort. So for example, if I search a picture of a mobile phone, I would get that a lot of similar photos, and I would also get the links where they are present. So I hope you get an information of what I'm talking about. So we're going to build something like that, and we're going to use some AI, artificial intelligence, to do that, and how we actually detect those things in an image, how we detect landmarks and images and everything. And we are using Cloud Vision API. So what is an API? API is application programming interface, which basically means a software communicating with another software. So that's what you need to know about API at first. So now we'll start now. So I'll start with the lab, and make sure you only start the lab once you have a few minutes with you, because if you start it and then you end it, you would not be able to start again. So you only have a few tries before you can you end up using those tries, and it's not a good thing to do so. Now when I'm here, you can skim through this, you can see what it actually does. But what the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to open Google Cloud Console, and I'm going to use my alright, I cannot use this one, I'm so sorry. Once you click open Google Cloud Console, you're going to use another account, and you're going to use this username to sign in, and then this password as your password, and you're going to click next, and then it should bring you to an interface like this. So this is your Google Cloud Console. I've already done that. I'm just repeating the steps. So now once you're here, this is what you should be able to see. Now I'll go back here. You can skim through what it says, but now what we are going to do is we're going to activate a Cloud Shell. So what it is Cloud Shell? So if you have already done Linux, or if you have talked about we have talked about Linux, if you know what Linux is, or if you don't know what Linux, you just heard about it. It's actually a operating system where you have a terminal like command line interface, where you do all the things with that. So in here cloud, we call that Cloud Shell. So what is Cloud Shell? Cloud Shell is actually a command line interface for the cloud to do all of the things that we do. So what I did here is I just click this button right here to open a terminal of my own. So now when I have a terminal of my own, which is called the Cloud Shell here, you can just read this if you want to, but we just need to activate this first. Now once this is activated, we need to create an API key. So as we talked about what is an API, now we're going to create an API key. So our API or our software can communicate with other softwares on our virtual machine, which is this cloud where you're working on. Alright, so what we'll do is we'll go to API and services right here, and then we'll click credentials. So we are creating an API key for ourselves here, and then we'll click create credentials, and then we'll click API key, and then we'll wait for a few seconds. and then it should be able to give us an API key right here. Now we'll click copy, and then we'll go back, and this should be our thing that we should see. Now we'll click show key, and then we'll copy again. Make sure you keep it handy, and then we'll come back and just we'll click check my progress, and it should give you a tick mark. Now the next thing we need to do is export our API key. So what it does is it makes our Cloud Shell know that our API key is actually there. This is our API key, and you can communicate with it. So what I just did is I went here, I click copied, and then I pasted it. Now here's the one change that you need to do. You need to remove this, and then you just need to paste the API key you just copied, which is this one. I had already copied it. You can go again to the you just click show key, and then you can also copy it, and then you can control V it, and just you can click enter. It will not give you any output, but you should be able to see something like this. Now when you see this, you can go ahead to task 2. So right now we're going to upload an image to the cloud storage bucket. So what is a bucket? Bucket is actually a place where all of the things that we store is stored in a bucket on the cloud. So it is actually a storage. So what we store in a bucket? Water, right? So in a cloud, everything that we store in a bucket is stored in a cloud. Everything that we store in the cloud is stored in a bucket. So I hope you understand. Now we'll click this navigation menu, we'll go to cloud storage, and then we'll go to buckets. Right, okay. Now what do we do here? Now you can read through this what it says, but what we are actually going to do is we'll create a new bucket for ourselves so we can store something in it, and you can give it a normal name. For now I'll give it a name, something like the name of my friend Tanishka, and then I'll click continue. Choose where to store your bucket. You don't need to do anything of this sort, just need to choose how to control access to objects, and you need to uncheck this, and you need to click fine grain. This is what this says. You click fine grain and you click continue, and this should bring you here, and then you click create. So this is what it should give you ideally. Now once you have this, you can close this. Now once you have this, you can see it is here. Now this is where we're going to upload a file. So it is asking us to upload this picture. So we'll click save image as. I'm going to upload it in a different folder. You can do that if you want. So I'm uploading it right here. So what I'll do is I'll save it as donuts.png. Make sure you write it as I'm writing it, and then we click save, and it'll ask if I want to save it to PNG. I'll click use.png, and after this should work for me. But then I'll go back to upload files, and then I'll find where I have saved it. 1 second. Right, I've got it, and then I'll click upload, and I'll click open, and then it'll take a minute, and then I'll upload. I'll just skip to that part. Alright, it's now uploaded for me. So it says not public. We need to give this file or the image that we uploaded public access, so the cloud can actually communicate with it. So we'll click edit access. After clicking this button, we'll click edit access, and then we'll click add entry. We'll go to public, we'll keep it all user, and then we'll click it reader, and then we'll click save. And once it says public to the internet, you are good to go to the next step. Now I'll click check my progress here, and this should give me assessment completed. Now this is our task 3. We need to create our request. So how do we do that? Now we need to create a file that is called request.json. If you're not familiar with JSON, that's fine, but that's actually a way to store data. So how do we do that? You can always use the way which is shown in here, but here is an easy way which I'll use. So what I'll do is I'll write nano, which is a code editor. I'll write request.json. I'll check if the name is correct. It is request.json. Exactly, it is request.json, and I'll click enter. Now I've created a file. Now when I've done that, it is asking me to do this. So I'll click copy, and then let me just make it a little bigger so you can see, and then I'll come here, and then I'll click paste. There's one thing that I just need to change here is my bucket name. So what is my bucket name? The bucket name is displayed just here, and make sure you don't mess up the slashes. It's Tanishka. So I'll just copy this again. I'll come back here and I'll click paste. Make sure your URL looks something like this, and then what I'll do is I'll click, let me just move it here. Alright, and then what I'll do is I'll click Control X, and then one second, let me just bring it here. Alright, you'll hit Control X, and then you'll click Y, and then you'll click Enter. Control X, Y, and then Enter, and this should give you something like this. We'll just check if our file exists, and it says okay, request.json exists. Now what we need to do, we are making a curl request. What is a curl request? It is called client URL. It is a way to actually communicate with the server or the internet using command line. So now we have done that. What we just need to we need to click copy. We need to come back here. We need to click Command V, and don't change anything. And then we'll click paste. So it should give us something like this. So what is this? It is giving a description, a score, and a topicality. Now what it has ideally done, it has detected some labels. It has searched the image on the internet, and it has understood what it really is. It is a food, it's a pigment, it's an ingredient, powdered sugar, and a lot of things that are available on the internet. It has given us that. There's a score which says how much it is sure that it really is. So it is 0.986% sure that it is food. It's not person, but it's a 0 to 1 score. So you can understand it like that. So it has done that, and it's given us a response, and this should be the response ideally. And then we're coming to task web detection. Now if you have done this, you can actually until here, if you've done this, you can just do task 6 with this, and then you can click end lab and task 7 also, and then when you have done that, you can normally end this, but I am actually giving you a version where you actually understand what is happening, right? So when we have done this, it gave us something like this. Now when this happened, label detection is done. We'll come to task 5, web detection. So it'll search the websites of different websites on the internet and just see if this image actually exists, a similar image. So we'll edit the request.json file. So I have a shortcut to do that. So what I do is IRM, because I find writing on like nano a bit hassle. So what I'll do is a bit of a hassle. So what I'll do is I'll remove RM, and then I'll write request, and then I'll click tab, so it'll auto complete it from me. RM request.json, and then I'll write nano request.json again. So it will open up a nano file for me, the JSON file for me. Then I click copy, then I'll come back here again, and then I'll paste, and then again I'll do the same thing. I'll edit my bucket name. So make sure you don't mess up that, and then I'll write the bucket name. And if you forget your bucket name, it's right here. I'll click Control X again, and click Y again, and then enter. Alright, so this is what I do. Now, it is asking us to run this command. So we are again sending a call request, which is asking the internet if this actually exists. And now it is giving us some URLs. Wow, this is good. So what it does is, if you actually go to one of these URLs, you're going to see that, okay, we have found a matching image. So see, something like this, it is giving us this image. So a lot of these URLs do that. If I go to this, again, the same image. So that is what it's done. It's giving you some URL of some images that is visually similar, like this one. So this is what it's doing. It's searching the internet for similar images and giving us responses on the basis of that, just like Google Lens. Now, the next thing that we need to do is web entities. We already understand what it is. Now what we need to do is, we are using a task that is called face detection. Now what we need to do, we need to click this image, we click save image as, and I'm using the same URL, and then I write selfie.png and I click enter. I'll click use PNG because I want it to save as in PNG. And now when I do that, I'll just go back to the bucket where I was right here, and I'll click upload files. I'll click selfie.png, I'll click open, I'll wait for it to upload. I'll just fast forward to that part. Alright, it is now uploaded for me. So what I just did is I click upload. I just uploaded the picture that I just saved as selfie.png. Make sure it is saved with the right name. So now we've uploaded it, we'll make it public again. If you remember how we did that, we just clicked edit access, and then we created add entry. We went to the public, then all users and reader. Make sure everything is unchanged. You just change this to public. Alright, it's now public to the internet again. Wow, we're doing some progress. Now we'll come back to the tab and we'll click check my progress, and this should say assessment completed. Now we'll again be updating. Whenever it says update, what I like to do, as you know, I click RM and I'll I like RM and I'll click 1 second. Yeah, request. I'll click tab so it auto complete for me. RM request.json. I'll click request.json file for me again, and then I'll go back to the tab. I'll click copy. I'll come back here. I'll paste it, and then again I'll update my bucket name. This is important. So I'll just update the bucket name. Make sure you don't mess up these slashes, and my bucket name is Nishka. Alright, Control X, Y and enter. Control X, Y and enter. That should be your step. Alright, now when I'm here, it is again asking me to make a curl request, which is actually asking the cloud to do some search. So it is actually doing a face detection. We're actually detecting faces. So okay, what does it give us? Some X, some Y. Okay, now what it is? Chin left going, chin, forehead, right ear. So this is my face, and according to the internet, according to the AI, everything is coordinates. So it is giving me some coordinates, X, Y and Z coordinates. So for that picture, the left eye bottom boundary is on these coordinates. The upper nose tip is on this coordinate. The upper lip is on this coordinate. So it is giving it coordinate. It's detecting the coordinates on the face, and it's actually giving us responses on the basis of that. So this is what it is doing, right? So now when this is done, you can just see what it does. And now you can also read this if you want to, but it is what I am basically saying. Now we are coming to the task 7, which is landmark annotation. So we need to save this again, and we'll click save image as, and I'm using city.png. Click use png, save. Now this is saved. I'll come back to the bucket again and I'll upload it again. Alright, city.png, open, upload it again, upload started. I'll skip. Okay, my file is uploaded. Then I'll see if it's not public. I'll click this and over there, edit access, add entry, public, save. So this should be able to give me public access to this. Now I'll just pull this forward. This is what we were working on. And then we'll go back and we'll click check my progress. It will say assessment completed. It'll take my time. Alright, assessment completed. Take our time. And then update and request file. Now we'll need to update it again. So what do? We'll try request a JSON, and then we'll click. And there's a very easy way to do that. Just click arrow button, up arrow button, to go back to your previous previous commands that you did, and then I'll edit it again. And then I'll write my bucket name, and then I'll write Control X, Y and enter. Okay, this is where it takes me. Now we are calling a curl command again. We need to see which landmark it is. We are doing landmark detection now. Alright, so it has given us some information. Let us see what it is. So it has given us something like this: mid, description, score. Okay, so the description in red square. Okay, is this something that we know? Let us check. Red. Sorry for the typo. Red square. I again made a typo. Okay, red square looks something like this. It is in Moscow, something like this. And if we check the image that we uploaded, it is also something like this. So, okay, it detected that this landmark is actually red square. It is sure 0.85, and these are the vertices and these are the locations. How did it know that it is? A red square because of these vertices. These are the coordinates on that, and these were the locations, the latitude and longitude. This is where red square actually is. All right, very good. I am I'm pretty proud that I did that. Now we've already done that. We'll come to object localization. Now, what is object localization? Object localization is, we need to, if we have multiple objects in an image, and we need to see what are the objects that are available in an image. This is what we do. Now, we need to update our request file. So we'll write again. I'll just click the upper button and I'll remove the request JSON, and then I'll click nano request JSON, and then I'll update it. This is something that I don't really like in Nano. I'm not sure if there's a better way to do that. I just need to. Alright, here you don't need to change anything. Okay. Here you don't need to change anything. You just need to click enter, Y and enter. Alright, and then you are ready to call the API, and then you click enter. Okay, wow, it has given us something. So there was this bicycle image that we were trying to see. So we haven't really uploaded it, but there's this image. If you want to see, you can just click and you can see which image are we talking about. Okay, this is the image that we searched for. So it has given us some information. There is a bicycle wheel, bicycle frame, picture frame. Sorry. So there's a picture frame, there's a bicycle wheel. So it has given us the objects that are there in the image, and this is what it does. And you can read all of that, and this is what we do. And sorry, I forgot to tell you, you need to end the lab. So I click end lab, I'll click submit, I'll give it a rating, and then I'll click submit again, and then I'll go back, and then if I come here, I should say that I've completed it. Wow, it took 20 minutes, but I have completed it. That's an amazing thing. Alright, thank you so much.